Simone. We have Silver Lining, and we have Dub C in the house. How's everybody doing today?
Amazing.
Doing good.
Good. So, all right, let's talk about this halftime show trailer for the Super Bowl. Thoughts on the show?
I have so many thoughts, so many feelings. Where to even begin? Well, first of all, we know Dre is the maestro. So we know that it's definitely going to be a show that will definitely flow. And I think they were very smart in pulling together a team of people who have done a lot of duets together. So, unlike some other previous halftime shows where people have never toured together, never performed together, now that they're at the halftime show and their show looks like they've never performed together and they've never toured together, this crew has performed, toured, lived, got arrested, the whole nine together.
Oh yeah. I gotta admit though, when I first saw it, I was like, is this a trailer? Like, am I watching the trailer? Like, I saw it on YouTube. I was like, first of all, the whole cinematics was awesome. Like the trailer itself, like I'm over here expecting like maybe snippets of performances of each person. Like I didn't know what to expect. First of all, I didn't know who was going to be in there. First time seeing it, I was just like, oh, who? Like I didn't know. Tina Simone watched it before me. Didn't want any. It's almost like a movie for me. Like no spoilers, please. You know what I mean? I didn't want it. Like I was like, so when I saw it, when I went into it, I was just like, yo, they put a lot of time and money into that production of that. Like the M opening up with Eminem with the whole like futuristic letters and like I was like, what? First of all, I was like Eminem and Slim Shady. I was super hyped about. I thought it was like an album preview. Like I thought he was coming out with some new music, but that really got me hyped.
For me, so let's talk about like where we first encountered it, because for me, I found it in the rabbit hole of TikTok, and I'm like, snap, is this real? And I had to actually look it up and go, what? All right, now I feel targeted.
Perfect. I think even when it's not an echo, is it? Hopefully it's not sounding crazy. But when I was watching it and kind of nearby, you kind of get a spoiler alert. Like it was kind of spoiler. Like you know the songs you're gonna hear. Like that sounds like Eminem. That sounds like Mary J. Blige. Oh, was that Dre? Like so I was listening. I'm sure he was listening when I was watching it, but I was actually amazed that it was a full trailer for the halftime show, because usually at other halftime shows you can't even have anything that amazing and that intense because it's like one or two people, or they're trying to hide who is going to be on the show. But like it was just like very upfront. This is who we have. This is going to be bigger than the game itself. So I'm really excited. And even I'm not an Eminem fan, so I was just like, okay, cool. But like I wasn't excited about him, but I was excited about how they presented him. So, and then going from each one, like it was it was like a movie. Am I going to see a movie? Like, is there going to be something else after this that I need to watch? Because I don't know how they're going to even like pack that much into, I don't know what it is, 30 minutes. Like, I can't even say 30 minutes, like that short amount of time. Because even when they had two performers, it seemed like they didn't have enough time. They have all these amazing artists that have all these hits. I'm like, how are they going to share the stage? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, see, what I love about it is all of these amazing artists also have hits together. So you can have Dre and Snoop together. You can have Dre and Eminem together. You can have Mary singing the hook to an Eminem song. So no matter which way they do it, and just from the production of the trailer, you already know that Dre and whoever the creative team is thinking about how this is going to visually play out through a TV screen. because I feel that's where kind of some of the other Super Bowl ideas fell short. Like they were great ideas. Like Lady Gaga's was amazing as an idea, but coming through the TV screen, it kind of fell flat because you didn't get the whole 3D effect of watching her from 20, from 20 stories up. I think that the creative team, just from that trailer, is really paying attention to the majority of the audience is not sitting in the audience.
Yeah. You gotta unmute yourself, Justin.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Did I mute myself? Oh, wow. Anyway.
There you go.
Well, no, I did to cut off the echo from Chris.
No, but yeah, so, but I definitely agree, Tamika, with everything you were saying. Piggybacking on what you were saying about they wouldn't be able to fit individual solos in all their hits into it's like, I think it was like 30 minutes. Is it a full 30 minutes or is it just like 14 minutes? I feel like it's like 14 minutes. I feel like it's a quarter, right? It's a quarter worth of time. They wouldn't be able to do that. It would be like a flash of like a short flash of each song. But honestly, it's crazy because, when you look at the 3-minute trailer, I'm a little worried about being let down because of that little bit of time, because that trailer was amazing. The trailer was like, wow, they're going to come up with some great, like, it made me feel really hype about what they're coming up with. But now that I think about it, 14 minutes, are you going to make it? Is it going to live up to the hype? Whitney, you making those faces? I feel like, are you agreeing with me on this? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, because I got to thinking about that because they're all powerhouses in their own right. So, like, it's like, who's going to get the short straw on it? We're going to wind up getting the short straw on the performances on this. You know what I mean? Like, I've only ever seen bits and snippets of past Super Bowl shows, or their halftime shows, so I kind of already. They don't always live up to a good reputation, and as much as they've hyped this trailer up, I hope they live up to the hype of the trailer. Because you're right, it's 14, 15 minutes.
I kind of disagree with you guys. I disagree, but go ahead, Tina Simone.
As we're talking and we're thinking about the time limit and like how amazing these artists are and the songs, I'm starting to think it might be pre-recorded. Just might be pre-recorded and they already have it together. And there's no way they're going to have all those artists on 1 or 2 or 3 different stages live in LA. Like, I don't think. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm hype about it, but am I just going to watch a music video? Am I just going to watch a collage of maybe like an extension of what we saw in the commercial? So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, well, maybe they're going to fit it, but it's going to be like a movie. It's going to be, I feel like they presented it as if it's going to be like a movie because it was like a trailer, and it's going to end up being like, like an extended version of that little clip. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong.
To be fair, it could be a mix, right? It could be like a production, like a half like production on the big screens, and then maybe see, this is what they might do because of time constraint, right? I don't know. Autumn wants to be in the video. She's being very needy today. Right now, but I haven't showed much.
That cute little nose over there.
Because of the time constraint and because they want to make it a big thing, they might have to make a little bit of a production, a little movie production, like a pre-recording, some pre-recording. But I think there will be a live aspect to it. But I do agree that it probably will. Something's going to be pre-recorded. But they got to have some kind of live aspect for the people at the actual in the actual stadium.
See, and this is where I disagree with the three of you on this one. I think that they're going to do it like they did the Destiny's Child reunion, with Dre being the center. Dre will be the Beyonce of this crew because he is the godfather of that crew, to be honest. And I think that it's all going to revolve around him. And do I think that there's going to be some pre-production? Absolutely. The reason why Beyonce's production was so amazing was because of all of the visual effects. Now, what I would love to see that I don't think that I'm going to see is something revolutionary with the music, so that you can have Mary on stage doing her song, and then you have like a Kendrick Lamar or Snoop or Eminem coming out and rapping to a remix. Now, if they're smart, and I know Dre is, if they do something like that, that's a segue into an album that would definitely be on my Amazon download list. Mm-hmm. If they decide to go that way. I hope they do, because it's something that's never been done before.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever put out like some type of new music for a halftime show. It's always been something new.
Right.
Yeah. Or it's always
they have the potential because they've had the time. These people have worked with each other for upwards of 20 to 25 years. So it's them in the studio is like them coming home. Mm-hmm. So them coming up with new music together or remixing all of their things together, I think the pre-production with the live and then doing something revolutionary with the music would blow any other halftime show out the water. What do I think will happen? Exactly what you said, Khan. It's going to be some pre-production, some live, some audience participation, maybe even a special guest or two.
I agree. I think
because all of them have collaborated with somebody that might show up.
I feel like you would have to do it as maybe because like I'm thinking, because you think of like I'm thinking of Usher and The Weeknd's performances, which both were solo. And I don't remember anybody popping up. And this is a lot of people, but it could be. There could be somebody coming in. But I was thinking that there was always somebody popping up, but there wasn't always somebody popping up. But going back to what you were saying about new music. So I watched this trailer like 10 times, like literally, like back to back. Actually, because I really liked it, one, and two, because I wanted to know what I'm talking about, right? So Eminem in the beginning, Eminem is up in here with Slim Shady making music, right? I took that as writing lyrics, a futuristic way of writing lyrics, right? Then you go to Mary J. Blige was kind of doing her own thing. Like I feel like she probably. I think it really captured what everybody's doing at the moment when that call happened, right? Literally. Like, so Eminem is like, I'm coming back out with a new album. Mary J. Blige was probably working on some kind of modeling or some kind of fashion line. And Kendrick Lamar was up in this writing some stuff, figuring some stuff out in the lab. So I think that there could definitely possibly be some new stuff dropping at the Super Bowl, just because of those minor Easter eggs. It could be, it could not be. Either way, it'd be cool. But I could be reading too much into the trailer. But seeing those two doing that, being in the lab writing, I think that could be a possibility. Mary J. Blige may be singing a old hook, and Snoop Dogg and Dre may be coming back with just some older stuff. Although Dr. Dre, maybe less than 5 years ago, did have a new album drop, but I didn't check it out. So I'm embarrassed to say that. I might edit that out. I didn't see that.
But see, Dre's strength lies in collaboration, not in his own stuff. His stuff is good, don't get me wrong, but when Dre is the producer and the collaborator, it's always chart topping. Always. He's better behind the scenes than front and center. That's why I think in my mind I am visualize, if that's a word. Him as like this great, the Godfather, the virtuoso. And he's weaving all of this music together for us in this 14 minutes. Now, if it's something like that, 14 minutes is a teaser.
Yeah. Yeah. I suddenly just got and popped in my head a visualization, and I don't know how this type of band would work, but you say in the Maestro, I just had this visualization of Dr. Dre with the little orchestra music going to be like, how in the world would that hip hop rap go for that band leader? Wow.
Yeah, and again, I think that they are very conscious, because I watched this year's trailer and all of the halftime shows up into backwards to 2018. And this year's trailer looks like it had more thought, creativity, seamlessness, cohesiveness than almost all of the other shows. I mean, than all of the other shows that we've seen at halftime. And Shakira and J-Lo are very close, and they did a phenomenal job. But you can't beat Dre and Snoop Dogg coming together. It's kismet.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's going to be anything like the Bad Boys reunion. Y'all remember that?
Was that an award show?
I think that was an award show, Tina. Yeah, I think that was an award show.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I didn't even.
Oh, you saw that, Tamika?
I don't think the memory lane thing is really what we need from them. It's not really. You can't put out a trailer like that and then take us down memory lane and that's it. And have people walking out trying to be 1995 them.
Yeah, especially when, at least in terms of Eminem, I know for one has dropped new stuff. Because one of it became a huge trend on TikTok, almost as a female empowerment of, fine, you don't want to do it yourself, I'll do it myself. And that was Venom. So like, I know like he himself at least has put out new stuff in at least the last 5 years, so it's kind of like, I think people want to see those older artists, not just for what they used to do, but like, okay, what you gonna do now?
This is going to be interesting to see them because they're all levelers now.
Right.
So, and the hip hop industry is not very kind to levelers. These are considered OG icons, but they're really not considered. Let's be real. None of them are really considered mega hit makers anymore.
Yeah.
They haven't come out with music anymore. If Eminem come out with some tracks, it's gonna be hit automatically. Let Eminem come out. I wish I was. I'm gonna tell you, I've been missing Eminem. I'm sorry. I'm very salty about Eminem. I'm because I'm upset with him because I was like, yo, you should be running the game right now, Eminem. Like, dude, your lyrics, him. Yo, let me say something. If him and Kendrick come out with a song together, that'd be fire. They have the same like feel with the way they like flow. Man, I'm gonna put myself.
So
that's what I'm hoping will happen at a halftime show. That something like that collabo does go down, and then I will just throw a shoe at the TV.
Well, when I think of those artists and I see them wanting to perform and they're going to be on this platform, I want to hear the old stuff. So I don't really want to hear anything new. I want to like be nostalgic and have everyone, 20-year-olds and all that, they don't know what's going on and they don't really understand like why we're hype about it. But like I can see maybe possibly like snippets or maybe like Kendrick will rap a couple verses that are new to everyone, or like, oh, what's that, on like maybe a beat that he has before or something, maybe snippets of something new, but nothing like a full song. Because I think people will be interested in it, but you could get lost in like, okay, what's that? I can't rock with this, or I'm not ready to rap. I don't know. Like, I feel like it is a good platform for them to have new music, but their names are big enough to I'm performing my old songs, and right after this performance, Apple Music or Tidal or whoever is going to release like one new track that's a collab of some people you would never think would be together. So I can see, like, I want to hear the old stuff, but like if it's like a pathway to new, and this is kind of like the bigger commercial for it, wait till after the performance. So I want to feel nostalgic.
Right, this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think, Tina. I think they're going to do this, right? I'm just making something up. I'm just going to make a prediction. Okay. I think they're going to make a few predictions today, but I think what they're going to do is they're going to. I think it's too short a time to do anything new. I think they're just going to. They might do like so. Dr. Dre is a DJ, right? DJ by nature, producer, DJ. It's going to be a mix of like, Tamik Silver, you said it before. There's going to be a like remix. Like, Snoop Dogg might want to say his old verses over one of Kendrick's old beats, or it's just going to be a mixture, a clash, a mashup, if you will. So I think that's how I think they're gonna go by.
What you think? What you think the halftime show is going to be?
I think that's probably most likely what's going to happen, because I do think it is targeted to millennials. I've seen a lot of stuff for that. But for me, it's got to be a really sick mashup. Like, it's almost got to feel like, hey, I know this song, with all the bits and pieces of each of their different, popular hits mixed into it. I have a feeling that's probably what it's going to be more than anything else, is a mashup. I think some of it too is specifically, they are understanding that, let's face it, like, I know a lot of people younger than me that aren't what this group calls levelers, and they're not as interested into it. So they know that some of that money for these shows and the tickets for the Super Bowl itself, I think they're trying to market that to get that in. And I don't know what their live attendance is going to be like, but if they're trying to up it with everything that's been going on, I can see those ticket sales going up just for the faces alone, because these are faces where the people, a lot of the people that go or watch or consume football are levelers and up, and we like hearing stuff from our childhood. Let's face it. Let's face it. I mean, Eminem was a guilty pleasure for me in high school and college, because for me, you didn't listen to that. You didn't listen to music that had his language. But he spoke truth, so it was just like, yeah. But I mean, if I was into sports, yeah, I might pay the money, but I'm not going to pay the money for just a 14-minute show that's all I care about.
All right, so what's your prediction? What do you think they're going to do at the halftime show?
Say it again.
What do you think they're going to do at the halftime show? Old
school, new school, remix? It's going to be pre-recorded, and everybody's going to be upset. No, I do like the hybrid of the recording, and then like something on stage might be happening. I don't know if it's going to be more so like a visual kind of performance. And I don't know. I'm preparing myself for to be like a theater, like a movie. It's going to just be a movie that's going to be shown, and it's going to be an extension of the trailer that we saw, and it's not going to be too much going on the field. It might just be like, visuals, choreography, I don't know, lights. I don't know. That's how I'm preparing myself for that. If they're actually there live, I'll be hype about it. And I'm curious if it's going to be like different stages or if it's going to be a video.
I want them all on one stage, man. I want them all on one stage.
And I don't think I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. And here's why, because I don't think it's going to be on one stage. They might meet on one stage. They might all come from different places and meet up on one stage, but they're going to come out with different places and then come in and meet up. It's definitely going to be a production. Only reason. So you have to look at what has happened, right? What we've seen in the past, right? And of course they can come out with new stuff and make up something completely new. But if you look at it, pre-production work has been the trend now. Pre-recording it and coming and playing it, and then mixing that with live action. If you look at Kevin Hart's stand-ups, right? Kevin Hart's stand-up has a whole, and this is totally different. This is different from Super Bowl. I'm not talking about Kevin Hart right now, but like if you look at his stand-ups, right? Comedians in general, you have a whole production right before he comes out on stage and does his comedy, like a whole movie going on. If you look at what's that Lil Wayne's halftime show? Lil Wayne had a performance where it was just like he was in some totally different location from where the performance was supposed to happen. I think it was a halftime or maybe like a what do you call it, award show. Yeah. But and then I'm like, how are you at a high school football field and then you show up at the award show or wherever you were? Even look at Bruno Mars. Silk Sonic, right? They had the BET Awards. I want to say it was. They came out from some other location, marching coming into where they were supposed to be, like singing the whole time, dancing and walking into the camera over here following them. You know what I mean? That the movement, people like that. That's eye capturing. It's not boring. Boring is just staying on one spot the whole time. It's just so many different examples. Even the Usher been performing in like 3 or 4 different places when he was doing the halftime show by himself. I forget what year. The Weeknd had a whole production in multiple places. So I think it's going to be definitely one, some pre-production, and 2, they're all going to be in different locations, coming in and marching in and doing their own thing. It's going to be, having their own twist on how they enter into the stadium. That's my take on it. Yeah, Tamika, what's your thoughts?
I think they're going to do something similar, like you said. I think it's going to look more like, remember the old MTV Video Award shows? I'm thinking of the NSYNC performance in particular, where they did 2 different things, where they came in from a different location and popped out on stage. And then the other one I remember they did where they had the TVs in front of them. And they did. So it's going to be some sort of, because they were in the heyday of MTV, I think it is going to look more like an MTV Video Award presentation, because those were over the top more so than the Super Bowl ones were. So I agree with you. And unfortunately, I also have to go. But
real quick, before you go, Tamika, you go first. Tamika, you go first then. What song would you like to hear being played? One song would you like to hear a comeback of on the Super Bowl before you go?
Oh, why you put me on the spot like that?
Everybody's gonna be watching.
The Eminem Dre mash collabo. Oh, what was the name of that song? Oh, Eminem. Where Dre plays his conscience.
Oh, I think I know.
Oh, hold on.
Now we're about to be embarrassed on video, man.
Guilty Conscience. Guilty Conscience.
Oh,
and the reason why I choose Guilty Conscience, if you look at it, a lot of different locations. Yep.
Yes.
All righty, everybody. Silver Linings has got to go. We got to meet up on the next podcast to see who was right.
All right. All
right. I mean, Dub C, what's your thoughts? Dub C, what do you want played? What do you want song to come back?
I'm sorry, but because they teased it, I want Missy Elliott to work it.
Oh.
They teased it, nice. And I love that song. I was not coordinated dancing on it, but I loved that song, and I still guiltily sometimes play it, and I'm just like,
yeah. Awesome. Tina, what you think? What you want to play?
Well, I'm not thinking too much about the collaborations, but I'm really excited to see Kendrick Lamar again live and see what he's gonna do, how he's gonna look, and because he's just so creative and just like I just want to see what that's gonna look like. I want to see. I hope he does DNA. I just think like. Oh, it's that whole album. I just feel like there's really some great songs that he has, and I don't want him to like take over the whole performance, but I want to hear all his songs. But he has to share the stage. So, but I think out of all of the performers, he's the one I'm most excited about. The least excited about Eminem. I was never really an Eminem fan. I was like, But Kendrick, I am hype.
Oh man! Oh, you hurt me with that. I'm not an Eminem fan. Oh man! But if you like Kendrick, you gotta like. Come on, Eminem. All right. Let me just say I definitely want a. Okay, so look, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't know how to really describe it, but I want not necessarily a collab, but I want Eminem and Kendrick to do. I want them to have a moment together on stage. Okay, I want them to have like a almost like maybe like a battle, if you will, like but like not like a freestyle battle, but they're like really like together, and they're like one maybe rapping his best verse, and then the others rapping their best verse, and they're just like they're just going to because both of them got that fast rapping, you know what I mean? I really want to hear that. I want them to both be like back and forth at each other. I would love that. I would go crazy for a moment like that between M and Kendrick. That would be
energy for sure.
Fire.
That brings up the one thing in terms of Eminem that I would love to see on stage isn't even Slim Shady. It's Lose Yourself. That has been on my like Whitney Rocks like playlist, and it'll like at least once a week get put on repeat for 2 or 3 times. And I want to see a signer, and it needs to be Fire Champ signer, because I've seen a few people that did a good job signing it, and it's magic.
Speaking of signers and performances, I can't remember who it was. It may have been a signer for oh my goodness, who was it for? But everyone was like so hype about it because she was like outperforming she was outperforming just the way she was like really into the song and she's off to the side, but it was like she was the performance. Who was I think it was for like Megan Thee Stallion or something. And I was like,
I know who it was. It was for, I don't remember what music show, but they were playing WAP.
Okay, yeah, that must have been. It was like a festival or something, and I guess she was like on the side stage signing, and they were like, she stole the show. So it'll be interesting to see that they have something, like
I'm interested
along with
to
the
see if
performances.
they spotlighted somebody like they did last year for the national anthem. Wawa was the interpreter for last year, and he got a lot of hype because he's a deaf rapper in his own right.
Yes,
and the year before, it was actually a little known artist, Asian artist, and I've seen videos of some of her like her artwork that has wound up She'll do like graffiti billboard type of artwork. It's wound up in a couple different places. So it'll be interesting to see who, if anybody, they grab from the ASL community for that.
I would love to see Wawa again. Now, I don't know too many people from the ASL community that were the signing, but I would love to see Wawa. Wawa really entertained me. I want to say he took the show, man. What was it? Was it halftime or is it the national anthem?
No, the national anthem. Yeah.
Okay. But I think like it's being that he is a hard of hearing deaf rapper. I think that'd be a great. I know it's probably not. It's not going to happen most likely, but that would be cool to have him at the halftime, actually on halftime, rather than the national anthem, or both. But let me say, I do want to see. I do want to see them come out with the classic, like a tribute to Nate Dogg. Hold up, hey, to all my who be thinking we sorry, we don't play. Next episode. Oh my God. Hold up. I don't know how they would do it. I mean, they would have to like play his voice in the background. I mean, you know, I thought there were people that actually sung for people who've passed on, or like, you know, for tributes. But I don't think you can capture that voice. Who can capture that voice? I don't know. But I would love it.
Yeah.
And especially being in LA too, and I know they lost like a lot of people in that area. So like I'm sure they'll do some type of tribute to some of the LA rappers that were lost, and you know, kind of represent it. But you know, it's in LA, right? So it's gonna be in that area. But you know, we're having artists from all over. You know, like Eminem is Michigan, right? Like Detroit. So I'm curious if how they're gonna, you know, at the end of the promo, everyone kind of like flew in together, and I guess they're like gonna come together as one. I wonder if they're gonna try to highlight like different areas. I didn't do any like background research, but I know like majority of them are from like LA, California. But I'm also thinking too, because we mentioned before, like they're older, they're aged. You know, I don't know how much dancing Mary J. Blige is going to end up doing, or you know, like what they're going to do. So I am really interested in what else is going to be happening while they're performing. So like the visual effects, any animation or choreography. I don't know, like what else is going to be going on, because you know, I don't think Snoop Dogg gonna be moving too much. He's gonna be rapping. You know, I don't think he's gonna be hopping around and stuff. But you know, he's really kind of a chill performer anyway. And then I think about everyone else, like they still have their, you know, their lyrics and their, you know, their flow and their style. They perform in their own way without, you know, hopping around, jumping around, stage dive and all of that. So I am curious to see what else is going to be happening throughout. And like I said, it might just be like a movie and a mashup of, you know, a music kind of video things. And I don't know. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm hoping it won't let me down.
I'll probably be catching it after the fact, because knowing me, I'll probably wind up be working. So I'll probably be the one going, trying to find everything, trying to find it to watch bootleg or something.
I'll watch halftime and probably go to bed.
I definitely don't think anybody's gonna be dancing. There ain't gonna be no dancing. Only reason I say it's gonna be dancing, Mary J. Blige can dance. I will say that she can perform and dance, but she can't be the only one dancing. You know what I mean? And if she's the only one dancing, that's just gonna look weird. So I think it's going to be a very 90s, 80s, 90s kind of like, you know,
that, or it's going to be such a production that it tells a story kind of deal, which is true for a lot of those artists' lyrics. Is what do? They tell stories and they have hooks that you know, take the person and draw them into the song. I guess it's still called a song, but you know what I mean? Like they're known for some of their storytelling, especially because I am more familiar with Eminem, especially Eminem. Like his story or his lyrics, they tell stories. They're not just, oh, let's do a catchy tune so that I can get people to, to sell my music. It's also storytelling, sharing experiences and stuff like that. So I think that would probably be something that Wine is, not like single ladies dancing in the background like Beyonce's show and Shakira's shows tend to be, with a lot of dancing and a lot of movement. But if we're going down the production route, maybe a production that winds up telling some type of story by matching up all their different, hits. I don't know.
No, definitely.
But
I think that production aspect is going to be the part that makes that story happen. Whatever pre-production is happening, I think that's the part that's going to really bring that story together. It's going to be an awesome show. I mean, it's going to be okay. I'm positive that's going to be. I'm hopeful that's going to be an awesome show. I just, like I said, that trailer. You came out with that trailer really hard, and it's almost like if you have that trailer, that production, you have to have a bigger production after it, and you got to follow it up with another pre-production, almost like a better pre-production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I think even thinking back to the trailer and what I said before, if I feel like it would be like different stages, or it could be one stage where it's like kind of like a 360 kind of thing. I don't know, where they mix and mash. But what they showed on the trailer, I feel like could be, we may see that come to life. We might see, some type of, Mary J with her car and like still, doing whatever, or having that kind of mix in with whatever was going on with everyone else. But I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I feel like it's going to end up being like a movie, and a lot of pre-recorded things, going back to kind of like when the pandemic first hit and artists were performing on like Tonight Show or whatever they're performing. But it was like, all right, now here is, whoever, and they go to some pre-recorded video and like that was it. So I'm thinking it's gonna be something like that, or maybe they met up and they did some type of mix smash. I don't know. I would love to see live, but we'll see. We'll see. And yeah, no dancing. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of dancing. Mary, you gotta sit it down.
And I myself must bow out because my technology is almost dead. And my brain is almost dead.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's close it out. We don't know. We'll see on Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl, whenever we decide to watch it, how it's going to be. And
we'll do a debrief.
Yeah.
We're hopeful. We'll have a debrief afterwards, talk about it again. Thanks, guys, for coming out. And Tina, Simone, everybody, Dub C, and Cons. And anyway, I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. All right.